On our last episode of the Scots Irish, I built a bullet bag for my shooting pouch, and a lot of people asked for more details. So Kathy took some of the material we took out of that episode and she's re-edited it, and here's a little closer look at how I constructed the bag. So we've got another nasty cold day outside, and first I'm going to let my fire go out. Now I've got it going, but it's kind of cold in here. It'll warm up soon enough. But just a note on fireplaces. They are not the most efficient thing, and I've had a lot of comments about, well, you darn fool, you're heating the street because the chimney's on the outside. This was the way it was done in the 1700s, 1800s, and we tried to replicate that until wood stoves came out, and they became popular very quickly, and there's good reason, because one can be warm on this side or one can be warm on that side, but you can't be warm on both at the same time. Anyway, it's warming up nicely in here, and today I am building a bullet bag because I gave away my last one. I'm always doing that, kind of like that. So I'm using a little piece of brain tan deer hide, some waxed linen. I've made a stopper that filed a little groove in it. It's a piece of deer antler. So I've made the stopper, I've cut the hole. So it's basically 58 gauge, but I'm building it for a 54 gauge musket, so there'll be a space for the balls to come out. And also on the inside, because I built these before using a deer antler as a sort of a throat, and had problems because it was flat. So I sort of funnel shaped the inside, which will allow the balls to shake out a little bit quicker. Little maple stopper, and sew this thing together, and I'll have a shooting bag for my 54 caliber. And while I'm at it, and a controversial item, whether bullet boards were in fact an item in the time period. And my good friend Jim Kite down there in Wisconsin, he gifted me that guy. And it's for my 62 caliber, and I use it a lot. It's a pretty neat tool. Whether or not it's historically accurate or not, I'm not sure. Anyway, I'm going to sew this up. I don't have to be fancy with the stitching, so you don't have to use a saddle stitch. It's not holding a whole lot. You can just use a simple whip stitch. I'm going to use a crosshatch hitch just because it kind of looks neat. Yeah, and I'll have this done. Gust of wind and a little puff of smoke in my cabin. You can tell by while I'm sitting here, if you look at the arm of this old rocking chair of mine, you can see that I've used this as a tool for decades. I've built dozens of pair of moccasins on it. I've built dozens of bags, shooting bags, bullet bags, other accoutrements, and it's literally peppered with holes. So a grand tool. It looks like a chair, but it's actually a tool. It's worth noting if you're actually making crafts with using brain tan deer hide versus commercially tanned hides, you can sew a lot closer to the edges. They're really, really strong. The other thing where it's going to fit around the throat, I cut it so it's just almost flush, like really tight, in other words, because again, unlike commercially tanned hide, deer hide, brain tan deer hide will actually stretch a little bit. So we want to tighten that up a lot right around that throat. Then we're going to put a series of ties around that will catch it in that little groove that I've made that will hold it intact. So just something to think about. Starting to warm up. this bag is done. But all I'm going to do now is it's finished. It should hold. See here, get some balls. I don't know how many balls it'll hold. I generally like to carry about 8 to 10. And I've got roughly that here.